Welcome to a special episode and an equally special conversation on the Property Show. Donald Trump Jr., Executive Vice President of the Trump Organization, made an express trip to India to mark the 10th anniversary of the developer and its partner Tribeca. It's important to note that Tribeca, which has the exclusive license for the Trump brand in India, has grown to become the largest developer of Trump properties outside North America. Now, currently, the Trump Tower portfolio in India includes 2 completed and delivered projects in Mumbai and Pune, and 2 under construction projects, one each in Kolkata and Gurugram, in partnership with Tribeca developers. So what's brewing at Trump-Tribeca? I started by asking Donald Trump Jr. why would he fly 40 hours to be in India for 10 hours? Is it that he finds India a very compelling market for growing his real estate business? Or is it to strengthen the partnership with Tribeca and sign more deals?
Well, it's actually both, along with a third. A lot of businesses, work out over time, but sometimes a real relationship is formed. I mean, I've been working with Kalpesh for 10 years, brought me essentially to India, and our brand has done an incredible thing. And it's just been one of those stories where we understand each other. We understand, the vision of what my father created with a brand. Kalpesh has delivered that so well here in India. So I'm really here, actually, while the other stuff always happens. We're always looking at new business. We're always talking about the next deal. I'm really here to honor a great friend, more importantly, and next, a great partner, on 10 years of success and just the amazing things that he's been able to do here in India, not with our brand and with his own. Yeah,
with your own as well. Kalpesh, 10 years, give us the highlights. Which are the 3 or 4 things which should define Tribeca today? It's been a little bit of a slow start, but now you have a wonderful project that we all saw today.
Like you said, the starting was slow. Our model was asset light, but the founding principle for Tribeca was to give India projects that will inspire and projects that don't exist anywhere else, in the country, live up to global standards. And I think now that we've done that, not just with the Trump projects, but also with our own projects, there's a lot of appreciation and there's a lot of interest in Tribeca now. And with the tailwinds in the real estate industry, behind us, we're looking for aggressive growth in the next 12 months.
How much will be by yourself, which is Tribeca, and how many projects do you expect to do along with the Trump brand?
So next year, we're looking to double our entire portfolio, right? So it's taken us 10 years.
Give us a number.
About 5,000 crores, 5 to 6,000 crores of new projects signed up for the next year, over 5 to 6 projects. Now that's in total what we've done in the last 10 years. We're very confident of doing that in the next year, roughly half and half, Trump branded as well as Tribeca branded projects.
So 2,500 crores.
Correct. 2,500 crores.
Next 12 months. So you must be also, looking at deals on a daily basis. You have a short window, Don, to look at deals because,
The nice thing about a long relationship is, we can do and get stuff done by text and by Zoom and whatever it may be. The reality is after building all these projects, don't forget, this is a 10-year relationship, but 5 of those were really during a disastrous real estate market. Some of it was getting through COVID. Some of it was when we couldn't even do new projects. We had to turn down after really forming the relationships that Kalpesh and I have made, not just between ourselves, but with the other partners that we've worked with here. We had to take a 4-year hiatus. But we were still able to deliver those projects. We were still able to overperform the market, whether it be through sales velocity, whether it be through the premiums we were able to get, even in a rough market. And that's the true test, right? There are boom times across the world and in the real estate markets where everything sells. It doesn't matter what you do, but when you can get through and still manage a premium and still manage good velocities when everything else is struggling, that's the real testament of what's going on. And so having been able to do that in this relationship, is great. So, we're like an old married couple at this point. We understand. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Right? We understand that what we all need, and we've continually been able to deliver that, and it just makes it easy, which doesn't often happen in business, and certainly not in real estate. But I just speak so highly of the relationship because it's true.
10 years ago, it would take us, 3 to 6 months to get a deal through with, through the Trump organization and, pass all their checks. Now it takes 3 days. So
how many deals are you evaluating right now?
Lots. We're evaluating lots.
And in which cities? Is Hyderabad next? I've heard that. A little bird has told me that Hyderabad is a big project coming up.
Hyderabad is amongst the cities we're very interested in, but literally the entire country is open to us right now. So we're, there's each city can have multiple Trump projects. So we're looking at literally doing Trumps in every major metro in India.
Narrow it down for me, Kalpesh. It can't be all
Okay,
cities because
let's
your
say
experience with
let's say
NCR.
Mumbai.
Let me complete. Your experience with NCR after the Gurugram project, if you looked at the two Noida projects which didn't work out, right? And it seems to me that Pune is something which is working for you,
Yes.
right? So give us a sense of.
I'll tell you my top markets. My top markets to do the next Trumps are another one in Mumbai, a couple in Pune, one office, one residential, a project in Bangalore, a project in Hyderabad, a project in Chennai. I'd love to do a second home project in Goa. We're also looking at Trump villas, which are both first home and second home. So again, I'm not trying to keep anything from you. It's literally every major metro that you can think of where a super luxury branded project would sell. We're open to it. We're looking at deals in 4 or 5 cities right now.
All right. So more veering towards south, and what I'm hearing is office and villas. These are probably the expansion of the
Correct.
portfolio.
That would be the next evolution, but obviously the primary focus still on
Is
ultra luxury
residential.
residential.
So let me ask you, what makes you so gung-ho about luxury and super luxury real estate in India, considering that it is a largely middle-income country?
Well, it is, but it's also a very large country, right? If even a small percentage of a multi-billion, what is it, billion 2, billion 3 population is pretty significant. I see even since we started working on these things, sort of that the wealth that's been created in India at a certain level. I just think the ultra luxury market has a long runway ahead of it. I think, especially for us, I think there's a lot of people that have sort of created ultra luxury residential, but then you go there and saying, well, this is no different than middle income, other than they slap a sticker that says ultra luxury. That's different. Actually delivering the product, actually bringing in that next level of amenities that you see in New York or London or the other incredible real estate markets of the world. India has always sort of been starving for that. I think that was the thesis when we came here, was that these are people that they travel the world. They experience this certainly in hotels, but in second homes across the world. And yet when they're at home, which they're spending the vast majority of their time in, the product that they see abroad does not even exist there. So I think we brought it here. We changed the game entirely. We still continue to be on the leading edge of that. And I think we'll always cater to that, the people that are just on that front. And I think in India that runway also is quite long.
All right. How happy are you with the sales of the current 2 under construction projects? I know 2 have been delivered, yep. Mumbai and Pune, but you have one in Kolkata and you have one in Gurugram. And how happy are you with the sales?
Actually,
velocity?
I'm quite happy, considering where we're able to sell in terms of premium to market. And when you think of what we've been going through during the development process, right? When we started, you had obviously 2.5 years of COVID. You had lockdowns on the world. You had people living in fear. That was a brutal time, and to be able to continue to sell even in then. And then you had an Indian real estate market which was down for close to 5 years. I mean, especially in luxury real estate, but across the board. I mean, it was a sector that was just pummeled.
And despite that, right, Gurgaon is 70% sold.
Correct.
And Kolkata?
Calcutta is 75% sold. And most of the sales in Calcutta happened in the first 6 months. Right?
Mm-hmm. And that was a project launched in 2017 and Gurugram was 2018.
Correct.
So now tell me about the completion. I understand that the Gurugram project is delayed by about 6 months, which is all right because we had COVID, and then, our NCR region gets slammed down with pollution and no construction. But Kolkata, I'm a bit worried about it. Construction isn't seeming to be on progress as much as one would have expected or hoped for.
It is slightly slower. I think we're about 9 months behind.
Will you meet the RERA deadline?
Yes, we will meet the RERA deadline, absolutely.
Kalpesh?
The RERA deadline is 2024. We will deliver the project in 2023. Mm-hmm. Yes, we're behind schedule. Like you said, in India, the only thing certain is uncertainty, and something will come to stop you and delay you. But all our buyers are extremely happy. They've seen a very nice appreciation, and we're looking forward to. The structure is topped out. The facade work is going on. We'll deliver the project by December.
Within deadline.
But more importantly, I mean, when all this was going on and the delays with COVID, I mean, he was on the phone with me. We'd talk every week, and I get it, because I understand. I was on the phone from home because we weren't able to go to the office either. It's hard to build a building if you can't be on site.
No, I agree.
Right?
That delay is acceptable.
You're not day trading on a computer, right? You're building, a brick and mortar structure, and so that became. I'm actually sort of almost surprised the delays aren't actually significantly longer. I mean, when you think about how long things were really shut down.
We can't take any more delays in this country. We would be happy to deliver. The consumer will be very happy to get the projects in time. So you have a short window because your father is running for the presidential race in 2024, and last time you voluntarily decided not to expand business or do any fresh deals during that period. You must be in a hurry then to close a few.
I'm in a tearing hurry. Right? First it was those 4 years, and then it was COVID. So, I tell Don...
We've done a lot for basically a 4-year window that we've been able to actually function normally in our 10-year relationship.
We have a 2-year window, I think, because I've literally bet a lot of money on Mr. Trump, coming back in again. We've got 2 years, and thankfully we're, the tailwinds on luxury are with us. So we have a short window, and we're trying to sign up, a great number of projects.
So 4 to 5 deals, 2,500 crores. Can I take that as a target?
In the next 12 months. If you say the next 24 months that we have, the target's a lot higher.
And I like the idea of a second home,
yes,
villa, maybe project.
Do extremely well.
And we've seen that in the U.S. I mean, that's become a big part of everyone's lives, right? You saw the real estate in sort of the suburbs of some of the major cities. I mean, people just want a place to escape to. So I think that's an incredible, option for us. And again, for luxury, that's what they wanted. People didn't want to be trapped in a city where all of a sudden, lockdowns mandated they had to stay in an apartment for 2 years. It's very difficult, but you saw what happened to that second home market around the world. It's been crazy. So I think that's an incredible opportunity for us.
It's boomed. A confident team of Donald Trump Jr. and Kalpesh Mehta, and of course, what they will conclude under the Trump banner in India over the next 12 months. But when it's Trump, one can't really stay away from American politics, can we? Stay tuned for a lot more spice and some sharp-shooting answers from Donald Trump Jr. I caught up with Donald Trump Jr. on his visit to India this week at the 10th year celebration of Tribeca Developers, the exclusive licensee for the Trump brand in India. Now, the conversation moved from the big plans in real estate to some hot debates in politics. I asked Donald Trump Jr. on why had the Republicans fared poorly in the US midterm elections and whether the big lie notion that his father continues to talk about, claiming that the previous elections were stolen from him, have now been proven wrong.
I think the reality right now in the U.S. for elections is right now it's not about the candidates who's going to run a better ballot harvesting operation. I don't think Republicans are losing on issues right now. The Democrats, we've had some conversation before this. Look at the policies. What have they done for Americans? Gas prices are doubled. Interest rates are going through the roof. Inflation's crushing people at the things that are being pushed. Let's get in war with Russia. What could go wrong? Those aren't issues that we're losing, but the Democrats are very crafty and they're very good about going out there, and sometimes legally, sometimes I'd say there's some gamesmanship being played. But collecting ballots and making sure that people who may not even know who the candidates in a race are voting one way or the other. So I actually think right now the candidate is much less meaningful than actually creating a comparable ballot harvesting operation in those fields, because that's where we're losing. Because I can assure you, you go to your average American and tell them about the issues, When I see what they're doing with the sexualization of children and pushing on the Democrat platform, I can't keep track of what it is, but last time I checked, it was like, 9,276 genders. I don't think the average American is buying that, but I think they're still, running those operations. As far as my father's record on that, I think, what was it? Like he won 213 of 225 endorsements. I think it's pretty solid, but I do see what's happened in the United States is when you have a Trump that got things done, that moved the economy, it was for the real American worker. That's where he moved the needle. What I see now is the billionaire class, they want a president that answers to them again. Trump didn't have to do that because he was independently successful. So they want someone that when they call, that person jumps. So they want to do that under the guise of helping the little American, the average worker, but that's not really what happens in practice. And so I think that donor class, I think, that elite class, they want to reclaim the power that they had that Trump took away because he didn't need them because he was Trump.
Okay.
So there's a difference between being able to deliver for those guys and actually deliver for the people. But again, there's a big power base that wants their power back. They saw some of that lost under Trump, and they've had it for a long time. They don't want to let that go.
You're ready for a really strong fight. You become one of the most passionate campaigners for Mr. Trump, isn't it? Very quickly, did you see any benefit of Mr. Trump becoming the president those 4 years? How much did they benefit the brand, the sales, and if he comes back, do you think that would be phenomenal for you here in India?
We've seen a very constant demand for the Trump brand, both before the presidency, during and after. If anything, I saw was a dip in our ability to do more business because they voluntarily decided to, not do any new Trump deals. But
we had a couple that we could have. I mean, we were talking
yeah.
about, hey, if we push it, we can get this thing done in the 2 weeks that we have left, and it just didn't. We both it didn't pass the test, right, for us. Just for what we were trying to accomplish.
Are you going to do the same this time, for sure? Not do any deals?
I haven't even had a conversation about it. We got 2 years, which is plenty of time. Kalpesh and I now, the way we function together, I think we could get a lot done in that time, and then we'll assess it. But I'll say we did all of those things, but as far as the press and as far as we got zero credit for it. So I'm not sure. It certainly wasn't worth it because it was, we tried to do something to take sort of the honorable approach, and we got nothing but grief for it. So, I'd like not to, but, that'll be up to my father when he gets there because, we went through a lot and we turned down hundreds of millions of dollars in business that we could have done and that would have been totally legal to do. And yet we did it voluntarily, and it's as though, we were doing deals that it was mind-boggling how ridiculous it was. But.
All right. So you're saying that the product will sell with or without, but there is an extra sheen if Mr. Trump becomes the President Trump again in 2024.
It's very hard to quantify, right? There are the people who like the attention, there are people who do not like the attention. So it balances out. What's important to remember that this brand was strong much before the presidency, right? Decades before the presidency. This is the only true global luxury real estate brand, and I think presidency has just been more noise because. There may have been some positives, but there were also some negatives to it. So, but the good thing is that the interest has not waned for the brand, and it's stronger than ever. And a lot of it has to do with the success of the brand here in India, right? Most, real estate is such a local subject. It's been impossible for foreign players to do well in India. The fact that the Trump brand has come here and done so well, delivered two projects that are very close to delivery. Everything that has sold extremely well at big premiums. It's solidified, the brand in India. India is now the largest market for Trump-branded properties, outside of the U.S. And I think it's just going to take a life of its own now.
And you're sure you don't want to do or try and tackle India's real estate by yourself?
I don't have the hubris to assume it. I mean, no, it is. It's a local, and that's a big statement coming from a Trump. But we understand that game, right? We did that in New York, and we saw plenty of people try to come into New York and assume that they knew what we knew, and it didn't work out for them. And we bought plenty of those projects at incredibly discounted prices and built them ourselves and end up having successes. So, I think we understand that game, and when you can have a relationship that's worked as well. I mean, now it's in real estate, that doesn't always happen, right? People try to take the shortcut if they can figure out how to take advantage of it. Oh, they're in New York, they're not going to know. When you have sort of the understanding that Kalpesh and I have, it's given us the confidence to actually say, why would we even think about it?
And something you mentioned, and I'm going to wrap with that, I promise. You said that everyone forgets that Mr. Trump was actually a developer who gave the world outstanding and exemplary projects. How much of that are you able to bring in the product in India? Do you believe that it's comparable to the best of Trump projects in America?
Hand on my heart, I think it is comparable to the best. Look, 10 years ago when we started, developing Trump products, our understanding and our skill sets were, there was a big gap in what they wanted and what we could deliver. But this 10 years of partnership has brought up our game, and now I can confidently say we're delivering to the level that even Mr. Trump would be proud of.
Well, he was. When we came here, just saw the Pune was just under construction, just starting. They had sort of the built out of some of the show suites. He goes, "This is amazing." And I'm used to him going through and literally knocking down walls and tearing down things and spray painting things where they have to be moved.
Okay.
And that gets lost.
The level of quality was there. You should go see it for yourself. It's an incredible project. I think it could stand alone, not just in Pune or India, but probably anywhere in the world.
And that bit about the brand being a developer brand gets lost behind the celebrity, behind the politics of it all. First and foremost, Mr. Trump was a good builder, right? He, when he saw Trump Pune, he spent hours talking with the construction guy on how he mashed the grains and how he got the big slab of marble up and where he made the sink tops, and he hugged the construction guy because he learned a few things, from this guy, and this was 8 years ago. So, this guy is a builder first, and I think that gets lost in the everyday discourse. But that's why the brand is what it is.
Congratulations, Kalpesh Mehta, for 10 years, and congratulations for keeping this bromance, marriage, partnership, whatever we may call it, going for 10 years. And all the best. Let's hope that we get the breaking news on NDTV for the next deal that you do.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed watching this interview as much as I enjoyed doing it. Thanks so much for joining me today. Goodbye.